Hey guys, and welcome back to Pure Heart. Chris here, as usual, back again with another album review. And you guys, as always, make sure you guys hit down that like button and comment down below what you guys thought about this album. And also, if you're new here or a returning visitor and you haven't yet subscribed, then what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. It really helps out this channel. But let's get into it. With/In is the latest album from the Texas church in Austin, Texas, Austin Stone Worship. I first started actually listening to this band not that long ago, and every song of theirs I have exactly loved. I really do enjoy their instrumentals that they have. Very nice sounding songs. This is actually a really good band to listen to, especially if you're trying to find some new worship music for your church. And this album is no exception to that rule for finding some really great music, because I actually really do enjoy this worship album. It's probably one of my favorite worship albums that actually has been released this year. For the sounds and the lyrics of this album, I kept on thinking back to Vertical Worship and Old Elevation Worship, just because of how just rich and just of how simple a lot of these lyrics are, because you still grasp of the gospel in all these songs, and you get to understand of who God is and of how much desperately that we need him. And this album also has the central theme of what the title is talking about. So rather than, telling a story, this actually has a very theme. A lot of worship bands do that. Life Church Worship did it with their album God So Good. Go check out that. It's my second ever review, and it had that theme of God So Good. This one actually has the theme of is God with us, but also God in us. And so with/in, God's right there in that middle. There's some really good songs onto here that I do recommend you guys listen to, especially the first song, Our God Is Alive, a really great opener, really good banger to hit in with this album. And then you got like some really good song with Holy Is Our God, which really reminiscent of a Vertical Worship song, just of how just rich and deep theology it is. And In the Hands of Christ My King, which I believe is the longest song from this album, but it is literally one of the best worship songs of 2020. Hands down. Like, you could literally feel the Spirit moving in. That bridge, that it just hits you right there of how we're nothing without God. And speaking of how desperately we need God, there's also their rendition of Lord, I Need You, which is fantastic. I do prefer that song as an acoustic version, but their version was really well executed. I really did enjoy that. And I also really enjoyed the last song from this album, which is called Your Thoughts for Us, which was a weird way, I thought, because, to end the album before I was listening to that song, because right beforehand was a hymn that I do recommend you guys listening to also, which is called How Marvelous, and it's really cool of how they do that. Whenever I was listening to Your Thoughts For Us, I was like, man, dude, they really should have ended with How Marvelous. But the reason why you guys should listen to Your Thoughts For Us is because at the end, it actually does a tag of the hymn, the modern hymn that they just sang, which was fantastic. It really wrapped this album up in a sweet little bow, and I felt very satisfied by the ending. I was like, dude, this album is really great. The only problems with this album is, since it is a newer band, they do have the issue of the sound production of a lot of their voices sometimes does sound a little pitchy in a lot of ways. I mean, in one sense, that's not a bad thing, because it really gets that raw intensity and that spiritual intensity. So I do kind of like that, but I don't like it just because from a listening standpoint, it does kind of, it is a little jargon just to hear, and just like, Nah. I really do enjoy a lot of these tracks. It does actually have the problem of a lot of modern worship where it just repeats, where it's just verse, chorus, verse, bridge, and then over and over. It repeats that cycle. So, you know, it's a modern worship problem. You know, I'm not gonna put that onto their blame. So overall, I'm gonna have to give this album a 4.5 out of 5 praise hands. Honestly, probably one of the best worship albums I have listened to this year. There's not much I can really say. All these songs have a lot of theologically correct stuff. There are a few songs that are a little vague in a sense, but then, you know, you go to other songs and it's just like, okay, that's weird. And so that's why it's a little bit lower. The production of it is a little bit lower, but this is actually you know, compared to their other albums, this is actually probably one of their best production-wise albums. The lyricism of these songs, you know, it has your hits and your misses, but overall, I've actually really enjoyed a lot of these songs. I am probably going to come back to a lot of these songs, especially in the hands of Christ our King and our God is alive. Also holy is our God. Basically the songs that I talked about that you guys should listen to. If you guys need some worship music, definitely listen to this band and definitely listen to this album. You guys should find some really good theologically sound songs from this album. But with that, if you guys would, leave a like onto this video and also comment down below what you guys thought about this album and also what you guys want me to review, whether it be in the past, the present, or whatever it may be. You guys can put it down in those comments. It can be music, movies, topics, whatever. Put it down in those comments and I will get to it. And also, if you guys are new here or a returning visitor, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Hit it now! It really helps out this channel and really helps Pure Heart grow to the potential that it truly has. But if that's all, remember to be the light, know that you matter, and know that God loves you. Boom. Bye!